Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So today we're going to be taking a look at Magnum Strike Force 8.0 boot. And geez, like what the effing H. There's so much tech in this boot. It's probably the smartest piece of clothing that I've ever come across. I'm going to be taking you through from top to bottom, and we've got a lot to get through. So I'm going to chuck in B-roll wherever I can just to make the video ultra interesting. So let's get to it. So this is the Strike Force 8.0 boot from Magnum. First off, very cool looking boot. I like it because it's not very stand-outish. You can sort of wear it and it doesn't show off too much, especially if you've got like a jeans on that covers this top area. The cuff isn't very thick. It doesn't stand out a lot in a thatward direction. So you can put like a normal jeans over it and it looks like you're just wearing a very basic style shoe slash tacky type deal that's black and doesn't show up or stand out a lot. That's one of the things I really like about it. But from the soles upwards, let's work in this wordly direction. This is Magnum's first partnership with Michelin. I don't know if you can see there, or maybe you'll recognize that guy over there. Everyone knows the Michelin man. And what they've used, or what Michelin have used, are two, I think, thread compounds or thread patterns, shall I say. They've used their Pilot Alpine and Power Rain thread type to get the sole area. And one of the things I do want to show you, I don't know if you can see it, but like right over there, it says brake zone, okay? That is actually a thing. So this brake zone thing on the sole, that's an actual thing. These boots are oil and slip resistant right there. I don't know if it's flipped around on the screen. It probably is, so you can't read it, but that's what it says. And they are by nature very grippy, just with the design of the sole, obviously with incorporating the Michelin technology in there. They are extremely grippy, right? But there are limits of grip no matter what, even for a tire. And what I found is when you walk with these things and you do lose traction, it's kind of like traction control on a car. It slips and then it takes. It's especially at the back of here, which is supposed to be what I would imagine your more grip zone, seeing as that's the brake zone. So if you slip out, it slips for like I don't know, like a half a centimeter, and then it grips again. So you don't ever like, completely slip out, which is really cool. And as you can see from the footage that I either have or am showing you, I tested it on that really slippy ocean rock. I don't know what it's called. I'm not a geologist, but it's that kind of rock that has absolutely zero friction on it. And it takes a while to get used to how grippy the boots are, because your natural instinct tells you that, you're going to set foot on this and your feet are just going to go flying up and you're going to see your feet in the sky in the same field of vision, and it's just going to end really badly. But the boots are extremely grippy, even on that very frictionless material or surface. So that whole grip technology is actually a real deal. It really does work. And when it does sort of begin to slip, it catches almost immediately, and you can feel it on the rear of the boot. You can literally feel your heel area sort of dig in and sort of save you from yourself. It's also got this ladder grip situation. When they say ladder grip, I wonder if it doesn't not only mean that this is like the rungs of a ladder, but also when you would climb a ladder, you'd climb it over there so your feet won't slip off. I don't know if it's a two-part meaning. If it is, really cool, clever play on words. I like that kind of thing. Well done, Magnum. 10 points for you for that. But if you are standing on just this area, it has these grippy rungs on here to assist with friction and traction. And I would imagine, seeing as that's the part of the boot you would climb with, if you are climbing a ladder, that does make a lot of sense. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is this recoil sort of rear sole area. I don't know if you can see the word recoil over there. That has 40% more rebound than your standard EVA you'd find in a shoe. EVA stands for ethyl vinyl acetate. I worked for Cape and Mott, so I understand what this kind of thing is, and it's like the absorption, shock absorption. This thing works like a shock absorber, this area over here. It's got this soft, cushiony, reboundy feeling that when you sort of walk from heel to toe, you can feel it. It's really comfortable. It's really absorbent. Imagine springs in the sole of your shoe at the rear end where your heel sort of touches first, and they just sort of go like that every time your feet hit the ground. You can really feel it. It's not like one of those gimmicky things where they say it and you can't feel it. You really do feel it when you are walking. And even when you're standing, I spent nearly 4 hours in a stationary position wearing these boots. And usually when I do it with shoes that are not that supportive, I get really bad aches in my knees. I was in a car accident many years ago, and since then, standing still for a long time just gives me incredible knee ache. I've not experienced this. Like I said, I was on a training course with James Smart. We were helping some women out, and for literally nearly 4 to 5 hours, I was virtually stationary and super comfortable, no stress. Did not have to consider what was on my feet. Now on to something super freaking ridiculous. So this over here, okay, is called armor gel. It is not a vent. I actually saw a video where someone said this is an air vent and keeps their feet cool. That's the reality of it. This is not a vent, it's armor gel. Now I need to tell you what armor gel is. Armor gel, I don't know if when you were in high school, you did that science experiment, and I can't remember what you mixed, but you mixed water with this powder, and it was the kind of thing where if you press your finger into it slowly, your finger would sort of get submerged. But if you hit it really hard, it's almost like it would harden up immediately and not allow your hand to go sort of submerge inside this gloopy kind of liquid. That's sort of what armor gel is. It's soft, right? And it's sort of on the Magnum Boot in your ankle area to protect your ankle from side impact. So it's soft when you feel it gently, but the genius of it is it stiffens on impact. So if you see, you can go and YouTube some of these tests with armor gel. They would take like a tile, like a ceramic tile, and they would drop like a bowling ball on a type deal. And obviously it would break. And then they'd put like that thin amount of armor gel on top of the tile. And it's flimsy, it's like mushy. And then as soon as the bowling ball hits it, immediately, like within an instant, it anatomically gets super hard and absorbs all that shock. That is genius. That's the first time armor gel has ever been used in any kind of footwear. Freaking cool, right? Like, I mean, look how that looks, and it's clever. I like things like that. It's really clever. So again, the amount of tech in this boot is freaking outstanding. One of the cool features, or one of the other cool features, is it's got the side zip. So the way the side zip works, right? This is how I use it. I tie the side zip before lacing up my boots. Okay, so I pull the zip up and I lock it down. It's got this Velcro situation over here. Then I lace up my boots. So now it's nice and tight. From then on, I don't need to unlace my boots. I just take it off by opening up the side zip, and it gives that little bit of extra space there, and that's what I use to slip my foot in and out of my boot from, and that way I don't have to relace, so then my boots stay tied. Another thing, as you can see, it's got this leather style situation here, so this is it's a fully waterproof side zip boot. I think that's also a first. So that's super cool. There, Lynx 8.0, I think it is, yes. Also has a side zip, but that's not waterproof. It doesn't have this piece of material over here. The upper is denier nylon. Obviously, it would be. Those of you who don't know what denier is like, or this type of nylon, it's a ballistic weave of nylon. And it's got an anti-glare non-metal lacing system, which is airport safe. Obviously, you've got a YKK zipper over there. Also, I quite like this cutout in the cuff. So your foot gets, your ankle can sort of comfortably bend backwards without bending the whole cuff of the boot. So that's super cool. This is very soft, and as you can see, it's got enough padding to be padded, but not so much that the boot stands out like this, that you can't get a normal jeans or a normal straight cut jeans over it. The way this boot manages different terrains is outstanding. You go from gravel to loose sand to wet rock to concrete to tar to whatever, and it just grips and works with the situation. You never really feel like you are going to slip out, like you are in any way, shape or form in less control than the previous surface you were on. So guys, the Magnum Strike Force 8.0, I freaking love it. Really, like, give me one in every color and two in black. I think they only come in black though, so yeah, that's a tough one. I'm not sure, though. Go check it out. I'll leave a link to it on my website. Two more things I want to say, guys. As I said, you do need to wear these things. I did find that they have a wearing in time. Initially, when I bought it, I took a size 9. That's my standard shoe size. And I felt they were a bit big. So I asked for an 8, and they sent me an 8, or they said I can go and pick up an 8 at their store. And that fit me better. But there is a wearing in time. Initially, it is quite a stiff inside. And as you wear it, it wears out and conforms and molds and just becomes like a perfect fit of your foot. And then it's like super comfortable. Huge thanks to Casey and Magnum, or Casey at Magnum Boots. Thanks to them for being as patient with me as they are. I did tell them I wanted time with the product to review it properly. I wanted to extensively review it and extensively wear it so I can give a functional report on it. And I can honestly say, for urban environments, for EDCs like yourself, and maybe a bit on, maybe on the tactical arena as well, it's a really functional and useful boot. So well done to Magnum, well done to their partnership with Michelin and Armagel to bring you a really, really awesome boot. Guys, that's it from me this week. More reviews, more competitions coming next week. I'll see you soon. Have a good one. Cheers. God bless.